Music Production.
Yo, what is poppin'? Let's do some technical analysis on Tesla. So I posted a video about 3 weeks ago on this, and all I really had marked out was this support level here. Right, I had it right around this range, the $200 zone. It was acting as support for a very long time, right? We came back to in 2021, revisited, and then he went for a ramp up. And then we revisited this early in May, got another nice little pump. But now, as you can see, we broke below, and it looks like it's rejecting here, and it's acting as resistance. So it's very interesting, right? If you look at a bunch of crypto charts, like the ones that just got, like look at FTT, right? Look, low key looked like this, right? I don't think Tesla's going to completely collapse, but from a technical perspective, it's pretty much our first time that we've been really under the 50 EMA here. I think that's pretty significant to notice. If we pull up the 200 EMA, we're now under that as well. And again, I'm pretty sure that's one of the first times we were back down here in 2019 for a little bit, right? But this is a little different here. So just be aware that the characteristics of this stock have completely changed here. So what can we expect, right? What's coming next? Now, something I think is worth paying attention to is like, just take a look at a bunch of other tech stocks, right? So here, we'll pull up Apple real quick. And look at Apple here, right? It looks like it's lagging Tesla a little bit. So we could expect Apple to potentially break this 130 zone. A lot of tech names, look at Amazon, right? This is big tech we're talking about. Look what happened here with Amazon, right? Massive collapse here. We're at a level now. And again, we could look at these on the monthly time frame, and it gets a little scary because we have been up only for like freaking forever on these names, right? This is big tech. And now we're finally seeing like a massive correction here. There has been trillions of dollars that have been exiting tech stocks, right? So let's look at Tesla, right? This is one of the major tech names. Monthly time frame looks dreadful, right? So what are we looking at from a technical perspective? I think the weekly time frame poses the most clear outlook in my opinion, but all I'm pretty much looking at here is the trend, right? This is an uptrend, up. So in this uptrend, we have higher highs and higher lows that continuously happen here, right? And now the opposite has been happening since November of last year, where we have consecutive lower highs and lower lows, and now we're getting into this range here, right? We're right about at a potential support here that brought us back to 2020 midsummer, right? So we could mark out that area and look for a potential bounce, right? Since we're back in this zone. But if we know that the overarching trend, whatever, the bigger picture trend here is a downtrend, right? It's been that way for a year now. So we are going to expect some sort of bounce. When is it going to come? We don't know. It could go down a little bit further. But that's what we're expecting, right? We have this flush out. There's going to be a bounce, and it could run up into this 50 EMA. We could get some sort of rally. It could be smaller, right? So I want to pay attention to that. And if we run the Fibonacci extension tool from April to the lows we made in June, back to this triple top here, 1, 2, 3 rejections at this $311 level, it brings us to this 135 zone, right? So we could erase that for now, right? Let's erase all the tools, right? If we run that Fibonacci extension to the downside, we're at the first target, which is 135. So we could potentially see some sort of a bounce here, right? The bounce, what would we be expecting? Well, like I mentioned earlier, right? That zone, we could look for it to, again, act as some sort of resistance if we get the bounce from here, where we might potentially make our way up, get into this area, and continue our way downward, right? Again, look how far back the 2020 lows are. 2020 lows are, let's mark that out. The 2020 lows are right here, which is after the two splits, $23.37. Now, I'm not like one of those EV hype men. Like, I'm just looking at the technicals here. I literally bought that week, rode it all the way to the top, and I sold around at whatever it was before the split out. I forget, 800 something. I feel like I have a good grasp of this chart, right? Right now, I'm not really interested in buying. I'm not trying to catch a trade because I do think the markets are going to turn over, and I think there's a bigger picture potential opportunity here in tech stocks, right? We had this up only trend for over a decade. We're getting a reset button right now, and that reset button, I believe, is going to give us an opportunity to then go long again and revisit these names. It could also be a sign that maybe all these big tech names, is time for them to, it's time for their glory to end here, their glory story. Maybe there's going to be a new set of tech names that are going to rise in this crash coming up. We don't know if it's going to crash for sure, but I do expect there to be a further downside coming up in the new year, especially with the recession fears coming in. And once you see a lot of these people's, the people who bought a bunch of mortgages are defaulting, where do you think all their assets are going to be? What are they going to be doing with their assets? They're going to be liquidating them, whether it's Tesla, Apple, all these names. So we could expect that sort of move and potentially get a move down here, which would, I'm thinking $69, because Elon's funny like that. And from what I understand, he's been selling a lot of shares of Tesla. Now, if he's going to buy those shares back eventually, after a massive drawdown, we wouldn't be surprised if it reaches that $69 level. I think that'd be the perfect buy opportunity. So I have that target kind of marked out. Again, it could happen a lot steeper than this. The bear market tends to, take the stairs up and then elevator down, right? So that's the breakdown here on Tesla, and kind of like an overarching like technology stock, like technical breakdown. But let me know in the comments below if this was any helpful from a technical analysis perspective. I'll be watching a lot of these names in the future. Stay tuned. Peace.